Hey everybody, welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. It's Kelsey and Beth here. We're both registered dietitians over here at the Health Park. So today we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Diabetes Awareness Month. So it's November, which means lots of holidays coming up, but also wanted to bring some awareness to you guys about diabetes. So today me and Beth are just going to talk a little bit about some general information about diabetes and how you can manage that, or if you have family members that might be at risk for diabetes, what you can do for that.
So I'm pitch hitting today for Shelby, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about just some basic diabetes facts. Today, there are about 29 million people living in the United States with diabetes. Unfortunately, about 1 out of 4 people do not know that they have it. We've all probably known somebody, we probably hear about diabetes, but what exactly is diabetes? We hear about, I've got high sugar, I've got sugar in my blood, things like that. Diabetes is a situation where your body is not able to utilize the sugar or the carbohydrates that you eat in your diet for energy appropriately. There's 3 different types. Type 1 is, it used to be called juvenile onset. It's actually called type 1 diabetes now, and it's where your body simply does not make insulin. You do have to take insulin shots. It's something that you will do for your entire life. It is often identified in younger adults, young children, but that's type 1. Type 2 is the one we see much more commonly. Used to be considered adult onset. Your body either doesn't utilize the insulin properly or it doesn't make enough. You do have insulin, but just not working properly. Diabetes type 2 used to only be seen in adults. Unfortunately, we're seeing it as children are getting it these days. We see it more commonly, but it can be managed, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And then there's gestational diabetes, which is what some women get while they're pregnant. It usually comes on during pregnancy, usually goes away once they have that baby. Sometimes they have big babies as a result. The other thing I was going to mention is prediabetes, which is a really big term that we hear these days. There are 86 million folks today living with prediabetes, and that is a huge number. Prediabetes is that where your blood sugar is running not quite high enough to be considered in that diabetic range, but it's still running above normal. The good news about prediabetes is it's reversible. And so identifying that and getting yourself in a position to help manage that is a great idea. And we're going to talk about that as well in the future.
Great. So some of the risks that can be associated with diabetes is that we want to prevent. So the better that you manage your diabetes, the better off you'll be in the long run. So things that can happen if you don't manage your diabetes appropriately is going to be you're at a greater risk to have a heart attack or a stroke. Also gonna maybe have some nerve damage where you might be feeling some tingling in your fingers or toes or in your arms or legs. That is a result of having some nerve damage from having those high blood sugars. Also, what can result is some kidney damage. So when those kidneys get damaged, they don't work properly. So that's why we see a lot of diabetic patients maybe on dialysis or having some renal dysfunction. What else? Those are the big things that you are at risk for if your diabetes is not managed properly. So there's a few steps that you can take that, if you have diabetes, what can you do with your doctor, with your providers that will help prevent those things in the future. So Beth is going to talk a little bit about those.
So if you have diabetes, if you suspect you have diabetes or maybe even prediabetes, if you have a family risk for diabetes, if you're aging, if you've gained some weight, those are risk factors. If you don't eat healthy or you're inactive, all risk factors for diabetes. It's really important whether you're at risk or if you have diabetes that you have regularly scheduled appointments with your healthcare provider. It is so important. Diabetes can be diagnosed with a simple blood test called an A1C, but you want to monitor that regularly, especially if you have diabetes. It's important that not only do you see your healthcare provider on a regular basis, but you get your eyes checked. That's important because eye damage can result as Kelsey managed. Make sure you have have your feet checked. Work on a healthy diet. Work on getting some exercise into your routine. Here at Owensboro Health, we have both dietitians and diabetes educators who would love to sit down and meet with you, help you work on weight management, meal planning. We can do things like help you with your blood sugar control, monitoring, medicines. Diabetes medicines can be so confusing. So we've got specialists that can help you with that. And you can simply ask your physician or your healthcare provider for a referral.
So we hope that you guys enjoyed our Wellness Wednesday topic for the day. Stay tuned next week. We're actually going to be doing our Wellness Wednesday on Monday since it's going to be a short week because of Thanksgiving. So hopefully we're going to be talking about a diabetes recipe, kind of going into more depth about healthy eating with diabetes and talking about some staying active and just bringing more awareness to the community about diabetes. So stay tuned for that. If you want some more information, please visit our website at owensborohealth.org/nutrition. Thank you.